Good morning. I hope this video finds you well. I want to start off by saying thank you. Thank you for taking care of our students and taking care of your colleagues. This year has proven to have some challenges, but taking care of each other will continue to get us through. Additionally, I would like to thank our district leadership team and our district leadership steering team on keeping our vision of the Lakewood graduate alive and moving forward. Continue to make connections between what you do in your classroom to our 6 competencies. This work is really exciting, and it is the why Lakewood City Schools is a special place to learn and work. Have a great day.
One of the reasons we started Champs Cafe was to expose our students to pre-vocational skills.
The pre-vocational skills that we train our students with in the classroom, we really want them to learn how to generalize them in other places. So the cafe is a perfect spot for that. The students generalize their communication skills and their social skills, and they work really, really hard.
I think that the process of taking the skills that they've learned in the classroom, practicing how they can be used in unexpected situations or with new communication partners when they're out in the community is really important as they grow, so that they'll hopefully become great workers and employable adults as they grow up.
Most of our students do receive speech services, and so working on those real specific language skills in the classroom setting or in the therapy room, you don't often get the opportunity to carry it over into a real life or community-based situation. Champs Cafe has provided that for our students. Our students their graduation may look a little different than the other students in Lakewood, but ultimately we are providing our students the skills they need to be exceptional citizens in the Lakewood community.
My class, we use a lot of collaboration. We actually just finished a project that our entire 6th grade math department completed, partnering with Mayor George here in Lakewood and the Chamber of Commerce. It actually all started with this idea of collaboration, and we decided to talk together as a team about how maybe we could do something together. And I think that's how collaboration starts, is we ask this question of how can we work together? And the beautiful thing about collaboration is once you ask that question, I think it opens up the entire vision of a Lakewood graduate. So then we have to use creative thinking and critical thinking. But the collaboration starts sometimes just by asking the question of, hey, can we work together on this? Fast forward 9 months later, we had 150 students all working together towards the same goal of interviewing 53 local businesses about how they use mathematical thinking in their business to be successful. And the entire project was literal daily collaboration. Students had to work together, to talk together, to share their work together. Collaborating digitally allowed for a really high level of collaboration with students. So not only are they sharing their work with me, students are also sharing their work with each other. And so I can go in and make comments and light a fire for where they're at in the project. So the entire project took about 6 weeks. We invited everybody back to come celebrate our work, and everybody coming together between the staff here at the school, students, parents, and community members to celebrate the students' work was a beautiful thing. And it all started with us asking, hey, would you like to work together on this?
In our classroom, we focus on growth mindset daily, multiple times a day. With everything that's gone on through the pandemic, some of our kids get super frustrated throughout the day with some of the things that we're asking them to do. We have to continually remind them and talk about that they're going to make mistakes. Making mistakes are okay. I have a bulletin board in the classroom that I refer to throughout the day to change their way of thinking, to remind them. It's set up in our reset corner, so if they get frustrated, they can go to the reset corner and they have our bulletin board that they can look at to start to change some of the way that they're thinking. After lunch and recess, I have implemented using this guided meditation strategy. Traditionally, students are very amped up from lunch and recess. This is an unstructured time where, they get to play and they're amped up, and when we come back, we have lots of problems usually from that time. And with the guided meditation that we've implemented this year, I have been able to get the students back into their learning brains. We do not ever spend any time with any problems that happen at lunch and recess, and we have more time to learn.
Well, here at Garfield, one thing we're doing to promote awareness is having conversations with our students that are important and sharing information about our own personal backgrounds. A few years ago, we put a board in the hallway that highlights the countries and the languages that our students come from, and they tell us about their experience. So on the board, you can scan a QR code, and it's going to take you directly to a link on YouTube that has the student from that country talking about their experience there. Over the years, students are often stopping in the hallway as we update and add information so that they can learn more about their peers. We're seeing those interactions expand in the lunchroom, where we host over 30 flags with students from different nations. And our students have conversations with each other with students that they may not have talked to on a regular basis. So we are starting the conversations. We are reading books together in our book clubs to help students learn about the different experiences of others across the world. And right now, it's helping to create such a special family here at Garfield Middle School.
In my classroom, my students are learning many mindful tools. By increasing the mindful tools in their toolbox, my students are learning more about themselves and how to be more connected to who they are and how they are feeling. They check in daily using the mood meter, and on the mood meter, they're able to select the emotions or feelings they might be experiencing that day, and they hear how other students are feeling and things that their peers are going through. They also participate in breath work and some meditation practices, and through these mindful tools, students are able to learn to connect with themselves, to be more aware of themselves, and through that self-awareness and connection, they then can become more empathetic and compassionate and aware of the people around them. So through these mindfulness tools and restorative practices, my students are practicing empathy, which I think fully encompasses the vision of a Lakewood graduate. And I'm excited and eager to see how these mindful tools assist them in becoming not only a better human, but a better student.
So for creative and critical thinking, we do a lot of inquiry, open-ended questions, figuring out what do we want to learn, how do we want to learn it, and what ways can we learn it. Different topics doesn't always necessarily have to be about the same topic. Maybe we're learning about pumpkins and what's the different direction we can take with that. And with our pumpkin investigation, we started off with what do we know about pumpkins? What do we want to learn about pumpkins? Mr. B knows this, I know this. What do you know? What do we know as a class? What do you know about pumpkins? The I do, we do, you do kind of thing, to kind of structure their critical thinking and inquiry into that, so we get more questions out of it. They try to think through it. I know that I have 5 bears and she has 6 bears, so she has more because I can count them. Thinking those things through. And in their art, tell me about your work. What are you doing with your work? What are your next steps? Thinking about that process through it to get them really to engage with it. This is their own work and they can kind of take it where they want to go. And doing different kinds of things like that to get them really engaged in it and just kind of let them guide their learning. I might start at the activity, or like they gain interest in rainbows, like using that, and I put out inquiry activities for them to really get into that kind of stuff. So I just kind of follow what do they want to learn and how can I help them get there.